Hello, it's me, Robin from Simple Food, Simple Life. Stick around today because I'm going to show you how to make a delicious, nutritious, inexpensive soup from these very humble ingredients. Okay? Alright, now stick with me because you don't want to miss it. Thanks for joining me today. I sure appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate your taking the time out of your busy day to watch another installment of Simple Food, Simple Life. I want to show you what I've got in the bowl here. I have this bowl, and inside of the bowl are some goodies, and we're going to turn those goodies into a beautiful Asian soup. Now, I don't profess to be an expert on Asian cooking by any means, but I do know a few things, and so I'm just going to show you how I do it. And this is a method that's easily adapted to many kinds of ingredients, so don't forget that while you're watching it, okay? All right, let me show you what I have in my bowl. The first thing I have are this package of ramen noodle soup. Now, I know these are under subjection all the time and judgment because of their ingredients, but you know what? I'm going to use it, and I'm going to show you how to use it. And I think we have to kind of keep our perspective on some things, okay? So I'm just going to share with you a little bit of my thoughts on that. Okay, so that's one of our ingredients. And yes, I'm going to use the seasoning packet. All right, now I've got a hard-boiled egg, and this egg is already peeled. I've got a hard-boiled egg. I have a stalk of celery, which I have cleaned and ready to slice. I have a carrot, it's about a medium carrot, I guess. If you have a large carrot, use it, or a couple of small ones. I've got some two green onions here, or some people call them spring onions, that I have cleaned and they're ready to go. I've got some parsley flakes. I love parsley, dried or fresh. If you have fresh, you can use it. I've got some crushed red pepper flakes here, and I've got some garlic powder, not salt, because I'm not going to really add salt to this, I don't think, because I've got my soy sauce, which is salty, and I've got a little fish sauce here, and that's salty too. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. You can leave it out. Okay? And then what I have over here, let's see if you can see that. Right over here, I have a pot of water boiling. And in that pot, I'm going to add the ramen noodles. Okay? All right. So let's get started here, and I'll show you what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up this packet of noodles. And then I'm going to take out that little flavor packet. Now, I know that this is just something that has been really discussed, nutrition value, etc. I know that. And I'm not disputing any of those things. I'm just simply going to show you how I'm going to use that. Now, I looked at the ingredients carefully, and the fact remains, if you are gluten-free, if you have problems with MSG, etc., then by all means, don't use this flavor packet. But I'm telling you that this actually doesn't have anything in it that the cubed bouillon doesn't have in it. And the main ingredient in this is salt. If you look at this little packet, you probably have maybe, that's the product, you probably have, 2 teaspoons of the bouillon here? That's not very much. All right, So if you want to leave this out, that's fine. I'm going to use it. And the reason I'm showing you how to do this is because I want you to know it's okay. If you don't have issues with that ingredient, those ingredients, then use it, okay? There are millions of people every day who practically live on these packets of ramen noodles. And you know what? When my kids were in college, they ate a lot of these. I'm telling you, they did. So, because they're cheap, they're inexpensive, so why not, okay? So, you can have your own opinion on them, and that's great. And I use them. Sometimes I use the packet, sometimes I don't. But I'm just showing you how to use it when you don't have access to other things like chicken broth and things like that, okay? And if you don't have any allergy issues with it, then go for it, okay? All right. My water is boiling, so I'm going to I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my water down a little bit because these noodles don't take very long, so I don't really have to do those too far in advance, okay? All right. So, let's get going here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice up my vegetables, and I want to show you how I slice these vegetables. Make sure that you can see how that's done. And I do them a little differently. I like to, when I make the soup, I like to slice my vegetables on the diagonal. And the reason, cut this in half here, make it a little more manageable. The reason why I do that is because, number one, I like the way it looks in this soup. And number two, I like having more surface area on my vegetables because I'm slicing them thin. I want my vegetables to go a long way in this. So I'm slicing them very thin. So I'm going to slice them on the diagonal. And you see the difference in this celery when you slice it on the diagonal versus just slicing it this way, okay? So I'm going to put these in my bowl, and because I've sliced them on the diagonal and I've sliced them thinly, it's going to appear that I have more vegetables in there than I do. And plus, when you're eating the soup, it actually, the flavor of the vegetables are enhanced. They're not lost because they're diced too small, and they're just more enjoyable that way. Now, I want you to look. This is what I have from one piece of celery, okay? That looks like quite a bit, doesn't it? But it's still one stalk of celery. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing to my carrot. I'm going to slice it on the diagonal. I'm slicing it thin, and when you do that, make sure that you keep your fingertips turned down and keep your knife away from those fingers, because fingers in soup do not taste that great. Alright, so see, I'm slicing the carrots, and that's done here, and I'll show you how this looks. And I think that if you try this, not in all soups, but in this particular soup, especially in a soup like this where the vegetables are the star of the show, see how nice that looks? Then that's a great way to do it. Now then, I'm going to do my onions. And I'm going to slice my onions in the same way, okay? I'm going to start with this end because while my onion is still held together, and I'm going to work my way down to the white part. And so I'm going to slice my onions on the diagonal also. And I think you're going to be able to see how really nice these are. Now, you can dice them, but they kind of get lost. And since you don't have any meat in this, there's no meat in this soup, I'm not saying that you can't put meat in. You can. See how this looks? See how that looks nice? Okay. You can put meat in. That's fine. But we're making this in an economical way that is affordable. You know, sometimes people just don't have money. Or maybe it's slim period of time in your life. You know, we all have times like that. And so it's good to have methods like this in your cooking repertoire and your cooking knowledge that helps you to get by the slim times. See? All right. Now, when I use this green onion here, I'm going to use them, I'm going to reserve some of them. See? I'm going to reserve some of them for garnish to put on top of the soup. And look how nice that looks. Now, if you happen to have let's say a bag of frozen mixed vegetables, you can use those instead of these if you don't have fresh. And you can use them in the same method. And you can also use, you know, put some peas in here. Use whatever you have. But I'm just showing you a simple method. Carrot, celery, onion are pretty accessible to most everyone. And they're pretty prevalent and fairly inexpensive. If you don't have the green onion, you can just use any onion you have. Okay? All right. So I'm going to heat up my pan here, and I'm going to get, open my little season packet here, because I'm going to use the season packet in a little bit different way than what you might normally find. Okay? Now, I'm going to get a little oil going here. And hang on. It's not going to take very much. It takes this really, really small amount. I'll raise you up here so you can see me. And because I'm all out of oil, I do have a little shortening, so I'm going to use that. If you had margarine or butter, you could use that. Just a little bit of oil, not very much. Doesn't take very much to do this at all. So you can just, I'm going to get that melted down here. And because this isn't going to take long, I'm going to turn the heat up on my underneath my water. I'm going to get that going, and I'm going to put my noodles in. And here we go. All right. Now, remember that I'm going to reserve some of these onions. I'm going to reserve some of them. So I'm going to do that right now so I don't forget. Because, you know, I might get carried away. Now, because my onions are tender, I'm going to put my, we'll be a little closer here. Because my onions are tender, I'm going to start out with my celery and my carrots. Get that turned down. We don't need it. We don't need to start a fire. So I'm going to start with that because my onions are kind of tender and I don't want them to get too overly cooked, right? Get my spatula going here. And move this out of the way. If you bring it in, you can see this a little better. There we are. There you go. Okay. Now, I like to put my spices in while my vegetables are sauteing. So, I'm going to take some garlic powder, just a little, sprinkle that in. I'm going to take a few, well, I'm going to hold off on my red pepper flakes, I think. And I will hold off on my parsley until, you know, the end. But now I'm going to dump in, that sounds great, doesn't it? I'm going to add the chicken bouillon flavor packet that came with the ramen. And I'm going to mix that up in there. Now, I know that seems odd. I realize that, but it's okay. Trust me, it will come out all right. Now, I'm just going to put a little bit of water. I'm not going to put very much, just a tiny bit. You can see how that looks? And it smells good. It really does. It smells pretty good. Now, and my water is boiling, so I'm going to put my noodles in. Now, these noodles, grab my thing here. Thing, that's a technical term for this instrument. For that utensil. Turn that down. Okay. Now I'm going to bring that up to a boil and loosen up those noodles. And I like to do my noodles separate. And I'll show you why when we get there. Okay? Alright. So, now we're cooking away, and I'm going to take just a little bit of this, I think, if I can get it open, a little bit of this fish sauce. Now, fish sauce smells very bad. It seriously does smell very bad. And so it doesn't take very much because it's fermented. Okay, it's fermented from fish. And it does smell terrible. But it does marvelous things for Asian food. Seriously, it smells bad. So I've got my noodles going here. Let me get I'll loosen them up just a little bit because we gotta loosen them. Okay. All right. Looking pretty good. Like it. Okay. Now they're cooking away. Our vegetables are sauteing. Very, very, very low heat. And now I'm going to put my onions in. And we're going to let them, because you see why I didn't want to put them in the beginning, because I didn't want them to cook up. Now, if you have other Chinese or Oriental vegetables, you can put them in. If you have other frozen vegetables, you can put them in. I mean, it's fine. You can use whatever you want. Now, let's put in just a few pepper flakes. We're not going to put in too many, just a little bit. And I think I'm going to put in my parsley. Let's just put in a little bit of that. Now remember, I have my other onions in reserve, okay? And I haven't forgotten about my soy sauce. I've still got that. No big deal. Now, I'm going to get some water here, and I'm going to put in 2 cups of water. Now let's turn this heat up because I want to bring that up to a boil. This is actually one of my daughter's, actually a couple of my daughter's favorite soup. And it's a good, what do I want to say? It's a good comforting soup. It's very, very comforting. See what that looks like now? See there? Now I've turned the heat up on it, so it's gonna bring it up to a boil. Let's check my noodles. Oh, my noodles, they're looking good. So I'm going to drain. Actually, I'm not going to drain my noodles. I'm just simply going to take them out with my handy dandy tool here, and I'm going to, actually this is a pasta spoon or pasta fork. That's all that is. And I'm going to take my noodles and I'm just going to put them right in here. I'm not going to do anything to them. See what they look like? See there? See if I can get them under there for you. See there? There you go. Okay. Let's turn that off. I'm going to set my noodles aside. I'm bringing this up to a boil. Now, I'm going to take this spoon here and I'm going to taste this broth here. Now, if you want to use a vegetable broth, you can. Like I said, I'm just demonstrating how I use the seasoning packet. It's pretty good. It's mild. It's not, actually, it's not too salty. So, we're going to put in some soy sauce, which goes to show you that you should always open your brand new bottle of soy before you demonstrate something that you're going to cook. Shitty woman. Let me get a different spoon here. Now I'm going to add my soy sauce to, I'm going to put a couple tablespoons in. That's going to ramp up the flavor a little bit, which is nice. And it's also going to deepen that color there a little bit. I've got my heat turned down. And I'm going to cook this just a little bit more because I want those flavors to blend in. Now, like I said, I'm going to wipe this off a little bit. You can, some frozen peas would be good added to this, some water chestnuts, whatever. You can bring it up to whatever level you want. But it's up to you. You can use fresh garlic. You don't have to use powdered garlic. I'm going to put a little more garlic in here. Just garlic powder. You can make this soup as sophisticated as you like. It depends on what you want. Now I'm going to taste this broth. Okay. The soy sauce added something really lovely to that. Now I'm going to shut this off and I'm going to bring over my little cutting board here. And I'm going to cut this egg in half. I know, this is so hard, isn't it? See there? It's just a boiled egg. Just my boiled egg that's cut in half. There. Okay. Now then, let's put this together. Now, if you want, this can make 2 smaller servings, or it can make 1 large ample serving, okay? If you're going to do 2 servings, then then just put a half an egg in each one. If you're going to do 1 serving, then put the whole egg in. Now, I'm going to now come the noodles. See, here's the noodles. Okay. Now I'm going to pretend, or as my youngest daughter used to say when she was little, she's going to bear tend. She would say, "I'm just bear tending." She had an imaginary friend that she called her Lisa. And when the other kids were talking about what they did in school, she would talk about what she did in school and with Lisa. And then her brothers would make fun of her, and she'd say, "I'm just bear tending, huh, Mom?" And I'd say, "Yes, you're just bear tending." Okay, so let's divide this up. We're going to take part of these noodles, and we're going to put them in this bowl. See there? Got the noodles in the bowl. Looking good. Now I'm going to take this beautiful soup, and I think when you taste the soup, you're going to be surprised at how really good it is. Now, here I go. I've got some vegetables and I've got some broth, and I'm going to put them over the top of those noodles. Now, because I'm pretending that I'm doing this for 2 people, I want to divide this as equally as I can. So, there we go. I have the beautiful soup, beautiful noodles. See how nice this looks? Okay. And I'm going to take this egg and I'm going to tuck it right in there. Tuck that hard-boiled egg. That's going to be our source of protein in our soup because there's no meat in this soup. Okay? All right. Now then, remember those onions that I reserved? Those little onions? I'm going to take those onions and I'm going to sprinkle the fresh onions on the top, and there is our beautiful soup. Isn't that pretty? I want you to see if you can take a look at that. See how pretty that looks? And I want you to know it's really, really good. Now, I don't know if you can have anything that's less costly than this. Let me move some of my things out of the way because I want you to see how nice this is, how nice it looks. And let me get my area wiped up a little bit here. And if you notice, this didn't take very long, did it? No. It did not take very long to make this soup at all. See how nice it looks? So good. Okay. That's it. That's all it really takes. So let me taste this soup. And it's hot. I'm going to get a little bit of carrot here. Gotta get a little bit of noodles. And I'll tell you, honestly, what I like to do when I eat it, because I've never learned to be proficient at chopsticks. I'm chopstick challenged. I like to eat my noodles out with a fork. And then I like to slurp my veg and my broth. That's what I like to do. So, here we go. Mm. Oh, that's good. Good, 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 good. Okay. You know what? That's it. Let me get a little of my carrot here. And you know, the carrots have that taste of the spices and that chicken bouillon, that brothy taste. They have absorbed that. So when you add your water to it, they emit the flavor and turn it into that nice little brothiness. And the egg, when you cut the egg up in your soup, it literally just sort of permeates your soup and creams it up, and it's really, 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 really good. Okay? All right, now listen. Give this a try. If you're on a budget, or if you are just want something quick and easy, then try this. Ramen noodles are so cheap, and you can buy them by the case. And even if you don't use the flavor packet, I like to keep the packages of ramen around for other purposes, to make lo mein or to make this beautiful soup, whatever. So let's jump in there and let's just try it, and let's make something really, really comforting, delicious, and cost-effective. And you know, because everybody loves ramen. Oh, did I say that? I did. Okay, listen, if I can do it, you can do it. I love ya. Anybody can do this. I got faith in you. Okay, all right. Give it a try. Tell me what you think, okay? All right. And you just remember that little is much when God is in it. You know that it's true. Okay, bye. Love ya. See you later. Doesn't this ramen soup look good? I hope you give it a try. Hey, listen, thanks for watching, and please like, subscribe, and share, because other people need to know this stuff too.